Now, and he sat down, yes, and called the 12, verse 35, and saith unto them, If any man desire to be first, the same shall be last of all and servant of all. Yes. And he took a child and set him in the midst of them. And when he had taken him in his arms, he said unto them, Now, I'm wanting to embrace some children today. Yes. I'm wanting you to remove your fraud. Yes. The fraudulent allegations of child abuse. Yes. And I'm wanting to take some children into my arms and embrace them and tell them that I love them. Now, I thought that somebody had used my sperm without my consent and made little Paul babies. I'm going to want to hug every one of them. So why don't you get me all of my biological children that were made from my genetics? Yes. And then you tell all those vaginas that you use that you paid to birth these children. Yes. That Paul is going to want to hug each and every one of his genetically manufactured children today. Now, for every idiot fuck that thought that they were just going to cover up this communication system, yes, all of these children that are made from my genetics, yes, I want you to give me all of them. And for every woman that says, well, I actually gave birth to this child and I did not really realize that it was your genetics, Paul. I'm sure I'll have a talk with each one of them about, well, what are we going to do about this? I'm going to want to adopt them, poop, and I'm going to want to be involved in their lives. Now, for a lot of women, it's going to be a dollar sign, isn't it? How much money are you going to get paid for knowingly or unknowingly using my genetics to make children? Mm-mm. You know, I told these children, I said, for every child that was made from my genetics, I'm going to make sure that they have four cause actions to sue this state. Yes, every state in the United States. Oh, for all their moms that gave birth to all their little baby boys and girls that said, well, I did actually understand what I was doing. Yeah, but I didn't know it was your genetics. Yes. You will have available to you very large lawsuits that will enrich you ooch, for probably the rest of your lives. And it could be multi generational lawsuits where you and your other kids and your grandkids will be very rich because some witches and some monsters decided right now. Now it's going to be a multi-billion-dollar day, Sheriff. I'm going to want to know any child, yes, that has been made from my genetics. Then I'm going to talk to the moms. Right. We'll have a little meeting and I'll explain to them how they're involved in a very large lawsuit where my wife decided to sell my sperm without my knowledge and you decided to make a communication system right now. Because I'll sue this state, poach. I'll sue every state, yes. And the United States of America will get one big, whoa. Every woman that gave birth to a genetically manufactured child that was made from my genetics, yes, happens to be very wealthy. Ooh. And for all of you in the state that said, well, we're just not going to enforce the laws because of our genetic experimentation, yes, I'm going to want to hug. I set them in the midst, and he had taken him in his arms. I'm going to give a hug right now. And then I'm going to explain, yes, that your mom is going to be named in a huge lawsuit for allowing any woman to not to digest, yes, the genetics, yes, of a husband, yes, and then make up some bullshit right now, where you're going to arrest me multiple times. I'm just going to want to take them into my arms and talk to their moms. Because I really don't blame their moms. That's the weird part. Yes. I blame my wife. Yes. Homeland Security. Yes. And all of my relatives that said, well, in this county, as long as we pay, we can do whatever the fuck we want. Now, how much did you pay for the arrest that took place on January 4th of 2016? And every time you had a court hearing, and every time I had a mental health evaluation, yes, and every time you said, yes, I just want you to know, okay, Sheriff, yes, that Any child that was made from my genetics, their birth mom is going to be named in a fucking big lawsuit. Now today, oh, I'm gonna want all of those children. I'm going to, well, they may not live with me, yes, but I'll make absolutely sure that their mother never worries about money. Isn't that right? Why don't you go ahead and give me my sons? And then allow me to speak to Marilyn? Yes. hmm hmm And then open up the door? Yes. To me speaking to every woman that you use the womb of because of, well, that's a little Paul boy. I'm going to want to give him a hug today. They're all rich, Sheriff. They're rich.